तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः।
ॐ तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना. We are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and we are in the conversations of 24th April 1885, Friday, and we have come to a stage where Thakur has gone to Girish's house. But we go back and discuss one point of yesterday's class and then come to our today's class. Yesterday, we saw that on Thakur's insistence, Mahima-charan and Girish argued. And Thakur is telling but we have enjoyed the discussion. We here means all the devotees. Thakur including all the devotees, we. So we have enjoyed the discussion. You two have known each other, that we understood. And I myself have learned many things. On this point, I want to tell something. In Leela Prasanga, Sardan Swamiji has discussed these things in relation to the Brahmos. What the Brahmos learned from Thakur. And then he says, what Thakur learned from the Brahmos. And there he says, his devotees will not take it. But that is not true. A teacher learns many things from the students. That means, seeing the students' difficulties, the teacher understands what is his sanskara and in what way I should teach him. Now, Thakur is born in this world for a particular mission, and that mission is to enlighten the whole world. But it is going to happen through the English-educated disciples. Now, how the English-educated disciples feel, that he can nicely understand both from Mahima-charan and from Girish. Mahima-charan is a jnani, and Thakur has got him converted to bhakta. That also we saw here. And Girish is a bhakta. But both are English-educated people. So how the English-educated people think, how they argue, this Thakur learned. Why? Because Thakur is going on, continue, that work is going on. But he will become more and more clear about how to deal with these Western educated people, whether the followers of Jnana, whether the followers of Bhakti, whether Nirakarvadis, whether Sakarvadis, but English educated modern young Bengali modern young man. And so, that is what Thakur has separated here. We enjoyed and I also learned. So we means all the devotees. And all the devotees benefited, not only enjoyed but benefited. And Thakur learned. This he learned. That much I wanted to tell you, that one should not be aghast. And what Thakur will learn, his avatar. Sarjan Swamiji said, like that we should never close our mind. the best teachers also go on learning. And Thakur himself has said, remember, in another incident, some two devotees were in presence of Thakur talking. One of them says, you need not tell me, I know everything. Thakur objected that. What is this idea that you know everything? He might have something to tell you which you did not know. And then he said, as far as I am concerned myself, so long as I live, so long as do I learn. So Thakur's attitude is not that I am God, I do not know, I don't want anything. That type of fake, artificial God-manhood Thakur never wants. That is not the incarnation. Incarnation is born as a man and a particular mission. So whatever is helpful to that mission, he goes on absorbing till the end. And so Thakur said, I also learned. So that discussion, I wanted to tell these things. Now we go back to where we were, that singing is over. So we come to this page 765, Narendra to the Master. Again, Sri Ramakrishna went into Samadhi. After regaining consciousness of the outer world, he returned to his seat. Turning to him, he said, I don't remember which way I was facing before. Then he began to talk to the devotees. And here, Narendra to the Master, Hazara has now become a good man. In Bengali, a para-heading, Pancham Pariched, Sri Ramakrishna and Narendra, Hazara Katha, Chalarupi Narayan. So 817. Yes. Now, here what is the topic going on? Narendra has not yet come to that position where he can have a real judgment about everybody's mind. Point number one. Sri Ramakrishna knows everybody inside and outside. Sri Ramakrishna's Leela mission, for that somebody may be helpful to some extent, somebody may be helpful by contrast, and so Sri Ramakrishna knows Hazara very well. Sri Ramakrishna knows, we shall see, that he has some spiritual qualities, but he seeks money, and that man can never be what you call a good man. So here now we pick up that conversation, and Narendra previously said Hazara is a good man. Thakur did not agree at that time. So now Swami Vivekananda has changed his thing a little and says he has now become a good man. To that, let's see what Thakur replies. Master, you don't know, straight away. You don't know. That is not Hazara change. There are people who appear, who repeat Rama's name with their tongue, but hide stones under their arms to throw at others. Because one point is that Hazara goes on criticizing everybody. So that is like throwing stones. A man of God never criticizes others. Thakur is pointing out. Narendra, I don't agree with you, sir. That is Narendra's quality. Unless fully convinced logically, he will never agree. And is not afraid to talk like that to Thakur. He knows Thakur loves him beyond these arguments. He also loves Thakur beyond these arguments. So he wants to be more clear. So he says, I don't agree with you, sir. Thakur never takes offense to this. I asked about the things people complain of. He denied them. So he believes whatever Hazara says. and lot of complaints were there. So about those complaints, Swamiji has asked Hazra. Now, how Hazra will tell rightly? He will hide his things in words and say something. Thakur knows that. Master, he is steadfast in his devotion. So this is positive point. I accept this much. He practices japa a little. That also I agree. But is there enough? But he also behaves in a queer way. He doesn't pay the coachman his fare. One point Thakur has put. Narendra, that isn't true, sir. He said he had paid it. He said he had paid it. Master, where did he get the money to pay? So, Thakur wants Narendra to go deeper into it. Just not believe what Hazra said. Narendra, from Ramlal or someone else. So, that is a guesswork. From someone else means guesswork. Ramlal stays with Thakur. So, he might have got from Ramlal or someone else. Master, did you ask him all these things in detail? So you have not gone deep enough. You are surmising that he has got from Ramlal. Did you ask him where from you got money? Once I prayed to the Divine Mother, "Oh Mother, if Hazra is hypocrite, then please remove him from here." Later on I told him of my prayer. After a few days he came to me and said, "You see, I am still here." The master and the others laughed, but soon afterwards he left. You understand? When mother says something, Thakur says something to mother, it has to happen. Now time factor is different. So it might have not happened in a few days and Agra boss says, "I am still here." But afterwards he had to leave. But soon afterwards he had to leave. More points Thakur is telling. Hazra's mother begged me through Ramlal to ask Hazra to come home. He was almost blind with weeping. I tried in various ways to persuade him to visit her. I said, "Your mother is old. Go and see her once." I couldn't make him go. Afterwards, the poor mother died weeping for him, and he did not go. Is that right? Narendra, this time he will go home. Narendra has not understood the click. Thakur has understood. Mother has passed away, and now he will go to live with the wife. Narendra has not got that point. But Thakur knows. When Thakur told him, "Go, mother is weeping," and she died, and Hazra did not go, and now he will go. Master, yes, he will go now home. He is a rogue. You understood? Thakur has understood very clearly. His wife and children are there, now he will go when mother is not there. It was his duty to take care of his mother. Mother wants to see him. Thakur has asked him to go once at least. Then he did not go. And Naren says, now he will go. So Thakur says, yes, now he will go. He is a rogue. He is a rascal. You don't understand him. You are a fool. Thakur goes up to this point to call Narendra a fool. Let me see. Oh, here, use slang word. Dhamna shala. Dur, tu bujhis na. এটা তো আসেনি, you fool. Tu bujis na, this much has come. Huh? You don't understand him. This is English, a little addition, and so I looked into it, that it is very difficult to feel that Thakur will call Narendra a fool. Absolutely difficult. I was feeling how Thakur has called Narendra a fool. So I wanted to see the equivalent in Bengali. This sentence itself is not there, please. Remove that sentence, delete that sentence. You don't understand him, that's all right. Now Thakur knows some more things. Gopal said that Hazra stayed at Siti a few days. People used to supply him with butter, rice, and other food. He had the impudence to tell them he couldn't swallow such coarse rice and had butter. Oh, and bad butter. He had the impudence to tell the devotees that he cannot take this coarse rice and bad butter. He is not Yadrichala. He does not accept what is given to him out of respect, charity. He is not, they are not bound to give him. Ishana Bhatpada accompanied him there. He ordered Ishan to carry water for him. A Brahmin, and he is asking, carry water for me, imitating Thakur. That made the others, Brahmins, very angry. Narendra is still not living. I asked him about that too. He said that Ishan Babu had himself come forward with the water. Besides, many Brahmins of Bhatpada showed him respect. He is not at all living. Master, smiling. That was the result of a japa and austerity. Thakur everything knows very correctly. He accepts that some Brahmins respect him because he is doing some japa and some austerity. So that was the result of a japa and austerity. You see, physical traits to a great extent influence character. Short stature and a body with dents here and there are not good traits. People with such traits take a long time to acquire spiritual knowledge. So he is referring definitely for Hazra. Bhavanath, let us stop talking about these things. Master, don't misunderstand me. That Thakur is not going to condemn or criticize Hazra. He wants to tell to Narendra certain things. He is misunderstanding. That Thakur never wants. To Narendra, you say you understand people. That is why I am telling you all this. Because Swamiji thinks he understands people. He says that he understands people. And so Thakur is telling him it is not true. You are not able to understand. This need not say fool. Huh? Do you know how I look on people like Hazra? Thakur's clear statement follows. I know that just as God takes the form of holy men, so he also takes the form of cheats and rogues. That is how he takes Hazra. All the world, Thakur's very clear knowledge. All the world is nothing but God himself manifested in different forms. And all forms, good, bad, everything is nothing but manifestation of God. That is a wonderful truth. That is a saving grace. That is a keeps a man in bliss. And that is the truth. God is transcendent as well as immanent, all-pervading. We do not understand the meaning of these words. Everything that we see is God's form. So good, bad, all people are God's form. And so God has taken the form of Hazra, that I see cheats and rogues to Mahimacharan. What do you say? Honor God. Because Mahimacharan had that opinion. Mahima. Yes, sir, all are God. Girish to the master. Sir, what is Ekangi Prema? So, Bhavanath said, stop. Thakur did not stop. Girish wants to turn the top. And Girish is more eager to know about Prema. And so Girish will intervene and Girish will say, Girish is a much more sensible, rational man. So, sir, what is Ekangi Prema? Ekangi means one-sided. One-sided love. What is the meaning of one-sided love? Some words, they are not translated. They are put English words. Prema, we understand love. Ekangi, one-sided. Master, it means one-sided love. Because that is a technical term, they seem to have kept it, and in Thakur's explanation, the meaning is coming. It means one-sided love. For instance, the water does not seek the duck, but the duck loves water. Water is not asking, duck, you come, but the duck loves water. There are other kinds of love. So, if a thing has an adjective, to understand that adjective, we must understand other adjectives. So, in that contrast, juxtaposition, we'll understand it better. Thakur's method, very logical method, compare and contrast. So, first he tells the meaning straight away, gives an example, and then says, Thakur is unique, wonderful teacher. There are other kinds of love, Sadharani, Samanjasa, and Samartha. In the first, Sadharani, which is ordinary love, Sadharani is ordinary. The lover seeks his own happiness. He doesn't care whether the other person is happy or not. That was Chandravali's attitude towards Krishna. Chandravali is one of the gopis known as Kathāmrita. So her attitude is selfish love. From Krishna, she will derive joy. Whether Krishna is getting or not, she is not concerned. So his example he has told. In the second, which is a compromise, both seek each other's happiness. Compromise. Samanjasa, the meaning he has given compromise. Can we have better translation? Samanjasa means with understanding. With understanding, Samanjasa. With rational understanding, with proper understanding. Both seek each other's happiness. This is a noble kind of love. But the third is the highest of all. Such a lover says to his beloved, be happy yourself, whatever may happen to me. Radha had this highest love. So we can surmise that the other gopis had Samanjasa. Radha has this highest love. Or other gopis also are to some extent Radha's followers. Radha had this highest love. She was happy in Krishna's happiness. The gopis too, yes, Thakur has come there. The gopis too had attained the exalted state. Yes, clear. So, middle examples he has not given. He has said it is noble, and Radha's true love is true, and gopis also have attained that state. You see, in gopis, no jealousy. Gopis know that Krishna is more happy with Radha, so that everything they in order to bring the union between Radha and Krishna. So they are having that. Do you know who the gopis were? So some mystical connection between their past lives. Ramachandra was wandering in the forest where 60,000 rishis dwelt. They were very eager to see him. He cast a tender glance at them. According to a certain Purana, they were born later on as the gopis of Vrindavan, because their fulfillment will come in that age. Ah, ah. They were very eager to see him. It appears that they saw him. No. They were eager, they saw him. No. No. The proper translation would be they got intense yearning to see him again. And that is why in Krishna Avatara they came. That is the connection. Huh? Ramchandra was wandering in the forest where 60,000 rishis dwelt, and this should come first. He cast a tender glance at them, and here we should say they had the intense desire to see him. According to a certain Puran, they were born later on as the gopis of Vrindavan. That would be connected properly psychologically. Huh? In Bengali, these are the order of the clauses. ষষ্ঠী সহস্র ঋষি বসেছিলেন, তাদের দিকে একবার চেয়ে দেখেছিলেন সস্নেহে. Not only tender, with love, with affection, Ram had looked at them. তারা রামচন্দ্রকে দেখবার জন্য ব্যাকুল হয়েছিলেন. So because, you see this translation does not reflect the original connection. 60,000 rishis were sitting. Rama cast a loving, affectionate look at them. That made them extremely eager to look at him. That was not possible at that time. So, Rama became Krishna and they became gopis. Got the connection? So, I have done like this. Those who want can change. Ramchandra was wandering in the forest where 60,000 rishis dwelt. বসে ছিলেন, sitting in meditation. Sitting means sitting in meditation. Not only dwelt. You can say literally sat. Were sitting. 60,000 rishis were sitting. He cast a loving, affectionate glance at them. They became very eager to see him. According to a certain Puran, they were born later on as the gopis of Vrindavan. Okay, so he wanted to know what is Ekangi love. Thakur explained that. But Thakur wants to tell much more thing about love. So he took a different classification. Ekangi is not fitting in this, but a different classification. And Ekangi may be like Radha, but that is not also true. So, Sadharani, Samanjasa, and Samartha. Samartha means capable. Capable to love. He has the right to love, he has the power to love. So, love is always Tat Sukha Sukhitvam, Tat Dukkha Dukkhitvam. And we get clear indication of this in the Gopi Gita. When Krishna disappeared to curb their sattvic ego, the gopis were weeping. First they were weeping, where you have left us, where you have left us. But then they say, those feet, tender feet, which used to keep on our harsh breast very carefully, with those tender feet, where have you gone? The pebbles and the thorns may be hitting your feet, tender feet. That became the point of Tad Dukkha Dukkhitvam. That melted their ego and they became Krishna themselves. And then Krishna had to appear. Tasam Avirabhut Chauri Smayamana Mukham Bhaja. So when he found that they have got Tad Dukkha Dukkhitvam, Tad Sukha Sukhitvam, then he appeared. That is the instance of this. So one Purana is told, they became the gopis. So a devotee, sir, who may be called an antaranga, another word used by Thakur also sometimes, and about other incarnations also. Antaranga means inner circle. Thakur will compare it with, there is a hall, and there are inner pillars and outer pillars. Master, let me give an illustration. A Nat Mandir has pillars inside and outside, and Antaranga is like the inside pillars. Those who always live near the Guru are the Antaranga. Always live near the Guru are the inner pillars. With example only has given reply. To Mahimacharyan, the Jnani wants neither a form of God nor his incarnation. So Mahimacharyan is sitting. So it is all bhaktas. Jnanis have a different concept. Jnanis means Jnani mold of like mind. The Jnani wants neither a form of God nor his incarnation. While wandering in the forest, Ramachandra saw a number of rishis. They welcomed him to their ashrama with great love and said to him, O Rama, today our life is blessed. He is blessed because we have seen you. But we know you as the son of Dasharatha. Very dear prince. Bharadwaj and other sages call you a divine incarnation, but that is not our view. We meditate on the indivisible Satchidananda. Rama was pleased with them and smiled. Rama will always be pleased for anybody proceeding towards God with whatever bent of mind. What a state of mind I passed through. Thakur has testimony for everything in his own life. My mind would lose itself in the indivisible absolute. How many days I spent that way? I renounced bhakti and bhakta, devotion and devotee. I became inert. I could not feel the form of my own head. Not only you do not like the God's form, you lost your own form. You are formless. I was about to die. I thought of keeping Ramlal's aunt near me. These two sentences, let us see in Bengali to feel the connection. Oh, no, not very clear in this injection. Keep or not, we do not know. Ramlaler খুড়িকে ডাকবো মনে করেছিল because he thinks he will die, so he might have desired to call her to see that he is not there. I would say I thought of calling Ramlal's aunt to be near me. I ordered the removal of all the pictures and portraits from my room. When I regained outer consciousness, when the mind climbed down to the ordinary level, I felt as if I were being suffocated like a drowning person. At last, I said to myself, if I can bear people, then how shall I live? If I can't bear people, then how shall I live? And he has to live because of his mission. Then my mind was again directed to bhakti and bhakta. So, after transcendence, immanence. After full knowledge, bhakti. What has happened to me? I kept asking people, Bholanath, he was an officer of the temple and he had knowledge of Vedanta and he helped Thakur in many ways in this way. Bholanath said to me, the state of mind has been described in the Mahabharata. How can a man live on coming down from the plane of Samadhi? Surely he requires devotion to God and the company of devotees, both. Otherwise, how will he keep his mind occupied? It will go away in Nirvikalpa again. Mahimacharan to the master. Sir, can a man return from the plane of Samadhi to the plane of the ordinary world? So that is a big question among Vedantis. They feel in Nirvikal Samadhi, everybody will die. The Jivakotis will die. But those who are meant to help the world, they do come back. And then only we get all the Vedanta. Master, in a low voice to Mahima, I shall tell you privately, you are the only one fit to hear it. Because this is not to be, why this, No, he will tell openly also to all. There itself. But he's telling Mahima that this is a delicate matter, private matter, you alone are fit to. That means he will tell him specially something, but he's telling in that next sentence. Kumar Singh. Now this K-O-A-R is from Bengali. Now Kumar becomes Kumar in Rajputana and other places. Sikhs also. So the name is Ku, then what we call half Nasar, Ardha Nuswar, Vara Sikh, Kumar Sikh. We have Kumar Maharaj in our mission and he has become Kuber Maharaj. Kumar Singh also asked me that question. You see, there is a vast difference between the Jiva and Ishvara. Through worship and austerity, a jiva can at most attain samadhi, but he cannot come down from that state. On the other hand, an incarnation of God can come down from samadhi. A jiva is like an officer of the king. He can go as far as the outer court of the seven-story palace, but the king's son has access to all the seven floors. He can also go outside. Everybody says that no one can return from the plane of samadhi. In that case, how do you account for sages like Shankara and Ramanuja? They retained the ego of knowledge, so they came back and returned the ego of knowledge. Mahima, that is true indeed. Otherwise, how could they write books? So he has understood that point. Master. Again, there are the instances of sages like Prahlada, Narada, and Hanuman. They too retain bhakti after attaining samadhi. Mahima, that is true, sir. Master. Some people indulge in philosophical speculation and think much of themselves. Perhaps they have studied, that is Mahima himself. Perhaps they have studied a little Vedanta, but a man cannot be egotistic if he has true knowledge. In other words, in Samadhi, man becomes one with God and gets rid of his egotism. I is lost. Comes back means God comes in his form. True knowledge is impossible without Samadhi. Very, very clear statement, thousands of times Thakur has made that. In Samadhi, man becomes one with God, then he can have no egotism. One point here is Thakur has put Ramanuja also in that category. So in Thakur's opinion, Ramanuja knew the truth, but he spoke according to the need of the people, fitness of the people. And that is Thakur's harmony. But Thakur himself says that all jackals cry in the same note. Ramanuja is not in that. Anyway, we have seen Thakur's idea of Ramanuja is different than what we feel. Do you know what it is like? Just at noon, the sun is directly overhead. If you look around them, you do not see your shadow. Likewise, you will not find the shadow of ego after attaining knowledge, samadhi. But if you see in anyone a trace of I consciousness after the attainment of true knowledge, then know that it is either the ego of knowledge or the ego of devotion or the servant ego. Every time with devotee's ego, he has separated servant's ego. It is not the ego of ignorance. He is not really separate from God. It is illumined ego. He knows the truth, but he wants to either enjoy or teach people. For that point only he has. Again, jnana and bhakti are twin paths. Whichever you follow, it is God that you will ultimately reach. So from path point of view, according to the different temperaments, there are two paths. The jnani looks on God in one way and the bhakta looks on him in another way. The God of the jnani is full of brilliance and the God of bhakta full of sweetness. That is consciousness and bliss. In practical language, Thakur says brilliance and sweetness. Bhavanath was seated near the master listening to these words. Bhavanath to the master, Sir, I have a question to ask. I don't quite understand the Chandi, that is Durga Saptashati. It is written there that the Divine Mother kills all beings. What does that mean? Because Bhavanath is of a tender mind, feminine mind. But God is also the God of destruction. Hinduism does not require a devil to destroy. Srishti, Siddhi, Pralaya are all gods. Master. That is all her lila, her sportive pleasure. Aha. That question used to bother me too. That is Thakur's idea. Huh? At some point of life, he has also faced that question. And he has got an answer. That will be more convincing to people who are feeling the question. That he is not theoretically answering. He has also passed through that. And he has got a solution. And later I found out that all is Maya. The world is unreal and therefore creation, preservation, destruction is possible for God. All is Maya. Both creation and destruction are God's Maya. So without this, no proper explanation comes of God as creator, preserver and destruction. This we have to be very clear. That unless it is all Maya, the world is illusory, we do not get any clear explanation how in the kingdom of God there is death, destruction, etc. If you put God to be all like us. Girish conducted Sri Ramakrishna and the devotees to the roof where the meal was served. There was a bright moon in the sky. The devotees took their seats. The master occupied a seat in front of them. All were in a joyous mood. So all could see Thakur. Something like Krishna in the Vrindavan. He used to arrange many rows in semicircles in front of him so that all can see him while they are eating. All were in a joyous mood. Sri Ramakrishna was beside himself with joy at the sight of Narendra. The beloved disciple sat in the front row. Every now and then the master asked how he was getting along. He had hardly finished half his meal when he came to Narendra with some watermelon sharbat and curd from his own plate. Curd is in Bengali generally sweet curd. Tenderly he said to the disciple, "Please eat this." Then he went back to his own place. So that ritualistic straightness, you should not leave your seat while eating. Thakur has no concern with that. He might have once upon a time, but now his love is much more. So we come to the end of April 24. And next is Sunday, May 9, 1885. It was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Sri Ramakrishna sat in Balram's drawing room in a happy mood. So it's a different day. Huh? And all these incidents, for several incidents now, we are not seeing Dakshineshwar. Thakur is in Balram's house, sometimes in Girisha's house. It was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Sri Ramakrishna sat in Balram's drawing room in a happy mood. Many devotees were present. Narendra, M, Bhavanath, Purna. So Purna started coming now. Paltu, the younger Naren, Girish, Ram, Binod, we have met him once. Dvija also, we have met him, Master Masha's younger son-in-law. And others sat around him. Balram was not there. He had gone to Mungir for a change of air because they were not feeling well. Mungir is in Bihar and maybe a more healthy place than Calcutta. His eldest daughter had invited Sri Ramakrishna. So all his people, Thakur said, are tried in the same note. So eldest daughter had invited, and the devotees, and they celebrated, and uh, she had invited and celebrated the occasion with a feast. The master was resting after the meal. Again and again the master asked him, am I liberal minded? Tell me. Because he wants Master Maharshi to appreciate that fact. So he's asking him again and again. Bhavan not smiling. Why do you ask him? He will only keep quiet. Generally, Master Maharshi is shy, so Bhavan says like that. A beggar, but Master Thakur wanted him to tell. A beggar entered the room. He wanted to sing. The devotees listened to a song or two. Narendra liked his singing and asked him to sing more. Master, stop. We don't want any more song. Where is the money? That means he's a beggar. If he sings, you have to give him money. And if you ask him more to sing, you have to give him more money. To Narendra, you may order the music, but who will pay? A devotee is smiling. Sir, the beggar may think you are an Amir, a big lord, a wealthy aristocrat. The way you are leaning against the big fellow. Allah. Master smiling. He may also think I am ill. So everything analytical looked has many angles. The conversation drifted to Hazra and Executism. For some reason, he had to go away from Dakshineshwar. Narendra. Hazra now admits he was egotistic. So that was April 24 when Narendra was arguing, and it is now May 9. In between, Narendra has come to understand. Hazra himself has accepted, he says. Master, don't believe him that he has agreed for some purpose. Don't believe him. He says so in order to come back to Dakshineshwar. Thakur has analyzed that also. Everybody says you are egoistic. Thakur says you are egoistic. And if I agree, Thakur may allow me to come. If I don't agree, then I'm rejected. So with this motive here, Thakur's analysis is non-parallel. To the devotees, Narendra always insists that Hazra is a grand person. Narendra, even now I say so. Because he was good in talking and Narendra liked him, that's all. Master, why? You have heard so much about him and still you think so? Narendra, he has slight defects but many virtues. Master, I admit that he has devotion to his ideal. He said to me, you don't care for me now, but later you will be seeking my company. A Goswami came from Sri Rampur. He was a descendant of Advaita Goswami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's companion. He intended to spend a night or two at the temple garden. I asked him very cordially to stay. Do you know what Hazra said to me? He said, send him to the temple office. Why? What was in his mind? Was that the Goswami might ask for milk or food and that he might have to give him some from his own share. I said to Hazra, now you rogue, even I prostrate myself before him because he is a Goswami. And you, after leading a worldly life and indulging a great deal in woman and God, have so much pride because of a little japa. Aren't you ashamed of yourself? So Thakur is very clear about Hazara. Narendra is not that. One realizes God through Sattva. Rajas and Tamas take one away from God. The scriptures describe Sattva as white, Rajas is red, and Tamas as black. Once I asked Hazara, tell me what you think of the people that come here, how much Sattva does each one possess? He said, Narendra has 100%, and I have 110%. Hazara has 110%. What about me? I asked, and he said, you still have a trace of pink. You have only 70%, I should say, or laugh. So this is Hazara's understanding. Narendra talks to him, Narendra is Hazara's. Narendra has 10%, Hazara 120%, Thakur 70%. So, judge not lest he be judged. From his judgment we can judge him, his intellect. All laugh because they thought of this as ridiculous. Hazara used to practice japa at Dakshineshwar, used to. While telling his beads, he would also try to do a little brokerage business. He has a debt of a few thousand rupees which he must clear up. About the Brahmin cook of the temple, he remarked, do you think I talk with people of that sort? So that egotism is still there. The truth is that you cannot attain God if you are even a trace of desire. Such is the way of Dharma. If you are trying to thread a needle, you will not succeed if the thread has even a slight fiber sticking out. So he is not God realized at all. There are people who perform japa for 30 years and still do not attain any result. Why? A gangrenous sore requires very drastic treatment. Ordinary medicine won't cure it. So there are certain defects which have to be removed drastically. No matter how much sadhana you practice, you will not realize the goal as long as you have desire. But this also is true that one can realize the goal in a moment through the grace of God, through His kindness. Take the case of a room that has been dark 1,000 years. If somebody suddenly brings a lamp into it, the room is lighted in an instant. So there are exceptional cases. Suppose a poor man's son has fallen into the good grace of a rich person. He marries his daughter, immediately gets an equipage, clothes, furniture, a house and other things. So many examples he is giving for that type of siddhi. A devotee, sir, how does one receive God's grace? Because he talks of God's grace here. Master, God has the nature of a child. A child is sitting with gems in the skirt of his cloth. Our time is getting over. We'll pick up this topic about the grace of God in our Thursday's talk. Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibiriditam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadatam Bhui Grunanti Ye Bhuridaj Jana Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.